Do you ever stare at a blank page, a silent instrument, or an unsolved problem, feeling the wellspring of creativity has run dry? That spark you seek, the novel idea, feels impossibly distant. It's a frustrating place, a quiet desperation familiar to anyone who tries to bring something new into the world. You know the potential is there somewhere, but accessing it feels like searching for a hidden door in a vast, dark room. We often associate immense creativity with almost mythical figures like Albert Einstein. We imagine flashes of genius striking like lightning, moments of inspiration inaccessible to the rest of us. But what if that picture is incomplete? What if the secret to unlocking creative potential isn't about waiting for divine intervention, but about cultivating a specific way of thinking, a method hinted at by Einstein himself? The title promises a secret formula, and perhaps the first secret is this: it's less about a rigid equation and more about a fundamental process. Einstein's breakthroughs didn't just appear, they were the result of a deep, playful, and persistent engagement with ideas. He showed us that creativity often blossoms at the intersection of seemingly unrelated worlds. Let's explore this hidden landscape together. Imagine your mind as a vast library, filled with knowledge, experiences, and observations. Every book, every artifact represents something you know or have encountered. Traditional thinking often involves staying within one section, looking for answers where they are expected. This is necessary, building expertise, but it's rarely where groundbreaking creativity sparks to life. The foundation must be solid. Einstein was a master of his domain, physics. He possessed deep knowledge. This is the first crucial ingredient. You need raw material to work with. You cannot connect dots if there are no dots to begin with. So, feed your curiosity. Read widely, observe closely, learn deeply about the areas that interest you, and even those that don't seem immediately relevant. Gather your intellectual treasures. But knowledge alone isn't creativity. It's potential energy waiting for activation. Einstein's unique power lay in what he did with that knowledge. He didn't just store it, he played with it. He asked audacious, what-if questions. What if you could ride alongside a beam of light? This playful, almost childlike curiosity is the catalyst. It unlocks the doors between sections of your mental library. This leads us to the heart of the formula, combinatorial play. It's the active, intentional process of taking different pieces of knowledge, different ideas, different perspectives, often from completely unrelated fields, and seeing how they might connect. It's about forcing associations, exploring unlikely pairings, and embracing the unexpected juxtapositions that arise. It's mental alchemy. Think of it like cooking without a recipe. You have ingredients, your knowledge. Instead of following set instructions, you start combining them based on intuition, curiosity, and a willingness to experiment. What happens if you mix the profound with the mundane, the scientific with the artistic, the ancient with the futuristic? This is where novelty often hides. Einstein famously used thought experiments, or Jedingkin experiment. He conducted experiments entirely within his mind, manipulating concepts and laws in ways physically impossible, just to see what insights might emerge. He mentally placed himself in extraordinary situations, accelerating elevators, distorted space-time, combining known physics with imaginative scenarios. This is combinatorial play in its purest form. Consider the simple act of taking two unrelated words, say, river and clock. What connections could you make? Time flowing like water, the measured rhythm of currents, a clock powered by a water wheel, a story about a message in a bottle traveling through time. Most combinations will be nonsensical, but some might contain a seed of something new. This is the practice. Why does this work? Because innovation rarely comes from refining the familiar. It often emerges when concepts from one domain are applied to another, revealing unseen patterns or new possibilities. Think of Velcro, inspired by burrs sticking to fur, or countless artistic movements born from blending different cultural aesthetics. The friction between disparate ideas creates sparks. So the formula starts to look like this: deep knowledge plus playful curiosity, X-active combination equals creative potential. It's not passive. It requires you to actively seek out diverse inputs and consciously try to connect them. It demands an open mind, willing to entertain seemingly strange or illogical pairings without immediate judgment. But there's another crucial element, often overlooked in our fast-paced world: persistence and incubation. Einstein didn't arrive at relativity overnight. He wrestled with these ideas for years. Combinatorial play might generate sparks, but fanning them into a flame takes time, effort, and the willingness to sit with ambiguity and frustration. Sometimes the connections don't happen when you're actively forcing them. They emerge quietly, after a period of intense work followed by rest or distraction. This is the incubation phase. Your subconscious mind continues to churn, making connections below the surface of awareness. Einstein famously had breakthroughs while shaving or sailing, moments of relaxed attention. Think of your mind like a garden. You plant diverse seeds, knowledge. You water them with curiosity and playful experimentation combination. Then, you need to allow time for growth, sometimes stepping away to let nature take its course. The most beautiful flowers might bloom when you're not anxiously watching over them. Trust the process. How can you start applying this Einstein formula today? Begin by diversifying your inputs. Don't just consume information within your field. Explore art, history, science, nature, philosophy, anything that catches your eye. Read magazines you normally wouldn't. Visit museums dedicated to unfamiliar subjects. Collect raw materials from unexpected places. Next, embrace the what-if mindset. Ask playful, provocative questions about everyday things. What if gravity worked differently? What if animals could talk? What if colors had sounds? Don't worry about practicality at this stage. The goal is simply to stretch your imagination and practice making unconventional links. Keep a notebook for these explorations. Now practice active combination. Take two random concepts from your diversified inputs, maybe an idea from a history documentary and a technique from a cooking show. Spend 5 minutes forcing connections. How are they similar? How could one influence the other? What strange hybrid emerges? Most ideas will fail, but the practice strengthens your combinatorial muscles. Consider using prompts. Open a dictionary to a random word. Open a book to a random page. Look at a random image online. Now, connect that random input to the problem or project you are working on. How does this unrelated element shed new light or suggest a different path? This forces your brain out of familiar ruts. Don't fear the seemingly absurd connections. Sometimes the most outlandish pairings hold the key. Einstein's connection between gravity and the geometry of spacetime was revolutionary precisely because it broke existing frameworks. Allow yourself to explore the illogical, the impossible, the silly ideas. That's often where true originality lies dormant. Integrate periods of incubation. After intense creative work, step away. Go for a walk, engage in a completely different activity, or simply rest. Let the ideas simmer. Don't feel guilty for not being productive in the conventional sense. This downtime is often when the subconscious does its most profound work, connecting the dots you consciously missed. Remember that persistence is key. Creativity isn't a single flash. It's often a series of small insights built upon each other, fueled by continued effort. There will be frustrating dead ends. There will be moments of doubt. Einstein faced years of skepticism. The ability to keep playing, keep combining, keep incubating, even when results aren't immediate, is vital. This approach shifts the focus from waiting for inspiration to actively cultivating the conditions for it. You become less of a passive receiver and more of an active explorer, a mental alchemist experimenting with the elements of your own knowledge and experience. Creativity becomes a skill you can practice and develop, not just a gift you either have or don't. This formula isn't exclusive to science or art. It applies to problem-solving in business, innovation in technology, finding new solutions in your personal life, even enriching your relationships. Any situation that requires a novel approach can benefit from gathering diverse perspectives, playing with combinations, and allowing ideas time to mature. Think about a problem you're currently facing. What unrelated field could offer a surprising metaphor or solution? Could principles from biology inform your project management? Could insights from music theory help you structure a presentation? Start looking for these unexpected bridges. Actively seek out the combinatorial spark. Embrace the discomfort of not knowing. Combinatorial play often takes you into unfamiliar territory. You might feel lost or unsure if you're making progress. This is natural. See it as a sign that you're pushing beyond your usual boundaries, which is exactly where creative breakthroughs happen. Curiosity must outweigh the need for immediate certainty. Let go of the pressure for perfection in the initial stages. The goal of combinatorial play isn't to generate finished masterpieces immediately. It's to generate options, possibilities, raw material. Allow for messy, half-formed ideas. Quantity can lead to quality here. The more connections you explore, the higher the chance of finding something truly valuable. Reframe failure. In this process, an idea that doesn't work isn't a failure, it's simply data. It tells you which connections were less fruitful, guiding your exploration toward other possibilities. Each dead end still builds your understanding and sharpens your intuition for future combinations. See it as productive exploration, not wasted effort. Collaboration can amplify combinatorial play. Discussing ideas with people from different backgrounds automatically introduces diverse perspectives and knowledge bases. Bouncing nascent ideas off others can spark new connections that you might not have seen on your own. Shared curiosity can be incredibly generative. Find your intellectual sparring partners. Notice the role of intuition. As you practice combining ideas, you'll develop a better sense of which connections feel promising, even if you can't logically explain why yet. Einstein spoke of a feeling for the right direction. This intuition isn't magic. It's honed pattern recognition developed through repeated exposure and experimentation. Trust those subtle nudges. Remember the importance of joy and playfulness in this process. Einstein often approached his work with a sense of wonder and fun. When creativity feels like a chore, it stifles the free association needed for combinatorial play. Find ways to make the exploration enjoyable. Follow your curiosity purely for its own sake sometimes. Challenge your own assumptions. What unquestioned beliefs might be limiting your creative possibilities? Actively question the rules within your domain. Ask, why must it be this way? Sometimes, the most potent creative act is to dismantle a foundational assumption and see what new structures can be built in its place. This secret formula isn't about becoming Einstein. It's about unlocking your unique creative potential by adopting a similar process of thinking. Your experiences, your knowledge, your curiosities are unique. Therefore, the combinations you can make are also unique. The goal is to become more fully yourself as a creative being. Let's revisit the core. Gather widely, play curiously, combine actively, persist patiently, incubate intentionally. This isn't a one-time trick but a continuous practice, a way of engaging with the world and your own mind that consistently fosters the emergence of novelty. It turns the frustration of the blank page into an invitation to explore. Think of a simple object near you right now. A cup, perhaps. Now think of a completely unrelated concept, say, migration. Spend just 1 minute connecting them. Cup as a vessel for carrying ideas. The migration of coffee beans. The journey water takes to reach the cup. A story starts. This micro-practice trains the combinatorial mind. The power lies in making this a habit. Dedicate even 5 or 10 minutes each day to deliberate combinatorial play. Keep an idea journal where you jot down interesting facts, quotes, or observations from diverse sources, and then intentionally try to link them. Like physical exercise, mental flexibility improves with consistent training. Consider the environment where you feel most creative or open to new ideas. Is it in nature, a bustling cafe, a quiet library? Try incorporating elements of that environment or deliberately changing your surroundings when you feel stuck. Sometimes a shift in physical context can trigger a shift in mental connections. Experiment with your creative spaces. Don't underestimate the power of constraints. Sometimes, having limitations can force creativity. Try giving yourself a challenge. Write a story using only specific words, design something using only certain materials, or solve a problem with limited resources. Constraints force you to think differently and combine elements in novel ways. Pay attention to moments of serendipity, those fortunate discoveries made by accident. While they seem random, serendipity often favors the prepared mind, the mind that has been actively gathering, playing, and combining. Your background work creates the conditions where accidental connections can be recognized as valuable. Reflect on past creative successes, yours or others. Can you trace the combinatorial elements? What disparate ideas or influences came together? Deconstructing past innovations can reveal the underlying principles of combinatorial play in action, reinforcing your understanding and providing inspiration for future efforts. The fear of judgment, internal or external, is a major creativity killer. Combinatorial play requires vulnerability, the willingness to explore ideas that might seem foolish. Cultivate self-compassion. Give yourself permission to experiment without the need for immediate validation. The exploration itself is valuable. Music is a powerful tool for shifting mental states. Experiment with different types of music while you work or brainstorm. Does instrumental Baroque music help focus? Does ambient electronic music encourage free association? Pay attention to how sound influences your thinking process and use it intentionally to support your creative goals. Physical movement can also unlock mental connections. Walking, pacing, even simple stretching can stimulate blood flow and change your perspective. Einstein was known for his long walks. If you feel mentally stuck, try changing your physical state. Move your body to move your mind. Look for patterns everywhere. Nature is full of them: spirals, fractals, branching structures. Human systems have patterns too, in history, in economies, in social interactions. Training yourself to see underlying patterns sharpens your ability to recognize potential connections between seemingly different domains. Pattern recognition is key to combinatorial insight. Storytelling is inherent combinatorial play. It involves weaving together characters, settings, plot points, themes, and emotions. Practice telling stories, even simple ones. Describe your day as an epic journey, or imagine the secret life of an inanimate object. This exercises your ability to connect disparate elements into a coherent whole. Revisit old ideas. Sometimes an idea that didn't work in the past might find new life when combined with recent knowledge or a changed perspective. Keep a record of your explorations, even the failed ones. They are part of your unique mental library, potential ingredients for future creative breakthroughs. Don't discard your intellectual compost. Learn from fields completely outside your comfort zone. If you're analytical, study poetry. If you're artistic, learn basic coding. This deliberate stretching forces your brain to build new neural pathways and provides genuinely novel ingredients for your combinatorial experiments. The unfamiliar is fertile ground. Embrace ambiguity. Creative problems rarely have single, clear-cut answers initially. Be comfortable holding multiple possibilities, even contradictory ones, in your mind simultaneously. This negative capability, as the poet Keats called it, allows deeper connections to form without premature closure. Resist the urge for quick, easy answers. Consider the power of analogy and metaphor. Actively look for ways to describe one thing in terms of another. How is managing a team like conducting an orchestra? How is learning a language like exploring a new city? These comparisons are combinatorial play in action, revealing hidden structures and generating fresh insights. Practice asking why repeatedly like a child. Why does this work? Why is this rule in place? Why did that connection occur? Digging deeper into the underlying reasons behind things often uncovers fundamental principles or hidden assumptions that can be challenged or recombined in creative ways. Don't settle for surface-level understanding. Remember that your perspective is inherently valuable and inherently limited. Actively seek out perspectives that challenge your own. Read authors you disagree with. Talk to people with vastly different life experiences. This broadens your mental library and provides truly diverse ingredients for combination. Humility fuels creativity. Pay attention to your dreams. While often symbolic and strange, dreams are a form of subconscious combinatorial play, mixing memories, emotions, and ideas in unexpected ways. Keep a dream journal by your bed and jot down fragments upon waking. Sometimes, dream imagery can offer surprising insights or starting points for conscious creative exploration. Reverse your assumptions. If you assume a project needs to be bigger, ask, what if it needs to be smaller? If you think the solution needs to be complex, ask, how could it be radically simple? Deliberately inverting your core beliefs about a problem can jolt you onto an entirely new creative track. Challenge the obvious. Break down large creative challenges into smaller, manageable pieces. Trying to tackle a huge project all at once can be overwhelming and paralyzing. Focus on combining ideas for just one small part. Progress on smaller components builds momentum and confidence, making the larger goal seem less daunting. Small combinations lead to big results. Use visual thinking tools. Mind maps, flowcharts, mood boards, or simply sketching ideas can help you see connections that language alone might obscure. Arranging concepts spatially allows for a different kind of combinatorial play, revealing relationships and structures that might otherwise remain hidden. Draw your thoughts. Don't neglect the role of emotions in creativity. How does a particular piece of music make you feel? What emotions does a certain color evoke? Connecting ideas based on shared emotional resonance, rather than just logic, can lead to powerful and deeply human creative work. Combine feelings as well as facts. Practice stealing like an artist, as Austin Kleon suggests. This doesn't mean plagiarizing. It means consciously identifying elements you admire in others' work, a technique, a perspective, a structure, and then transforming and combining them with your own unique inputs to create something new. Learn, adapt, combine, transform. Define your creative problem clearly, but not too narrowly. A well-defined problem provides focus, but if it's too restrictive, it can shut down combinatorial possibilities. Frame the challenge in a way that invites exploration. Instead of design a better chair, try, how might we support the human body comfortably and beautifully? The concept of beginner's mind is crucial. Approach familiar subjects as if seeing them for the first time. Shed preconceptions and expert biases. This openness allows you to notice things experts might overlook and make connections that seem obvious only in hindsight. See with fresh eyes. Limit distractions during periods of focused combinatorial play. While incubation benefits from relaxed attention, the active combination phase requires concentration. Create blocks of time where you can minimize interruptions and allow yourself to dive deep into the process of connecting ideas without constantly shifting contexts. Protect your focus. Think about scale. How would your idea or problem change if it were 10 times bigger or 100 times smaller? Playing with scale can drastically alter perspective and reveal new challenges or opportunities. Consider the micro and the macro view. This applies to physical objects, abstract concepts, and systems alike. Use sensory details as inputs. Go beyond just facts and concepts. How does something smell, taste, sound, feel? Incorporating rich sensory details into your mental library provides more textured ingredients for combination. Ground abstract ideas in tangible sensations. How does freedom, feel, or justice sound? Don't forget the power of simplicity. While combinatorial play involves complexity, Sometimes the most elegant creative solutions arise from simplifying, clarifying, and finding the essential core of an idea. After exploring many connections, ask, what is truly essential here? How can this be expressed more directly? Keep track of your energy levels. Creativity requires mental energy. Notice when you feel most alert and inspired, and try to schedule your most demanding combinatorial work during those periods. Respect your natural rhythms. Pushing yourself when exhausted is rarely productive for generating novel ideas. Rest is part of the process. Celebrate small wins. When you make an interesting connection, have a minor breakthrough, or simply persist through a difficult session, acknowledge it. This positive reinforcement helps maintain motivation and makes the often challenging process of creativity more sustainable and enjoyable. Recognize your progress. Be patient. Truly original ideas often take time to develop, far longer than we might expect or desire. The pressure for instant results can stifle the very process needed for depth and novelty. Trust that if you consistently engage in gathering, playing, combining, and incubating, insights will emerge in their own time. Cultivate patience. Remember that this formula, this process of combinatorial play, is not about finding one definitive secret, but about adopting a mindset. It's a way of living more curiously, thinking more flexibly, and engaging more deeply with the world around you and the world within you. It's about becoming a more active participant in the creation of novelty. Einstein's genius wasn't just his intelligence. It was his relentless curiosity and his courage to connect the seemingly unconnected. He modeled a way of thinking that breaks down disciplinary walls and embraces playful exploration as a serious tool for discovery. His legacy isn't just E=mc2, it's the how behind the what. So the next time you feel creatively blocked, don't despair. See it as an invitation to broaden your inputs, to ask, what if? To deliberately force connections between disparate ideas, and to allow those nascent combinations the time and space they need to mature. Engage the process. Your unique blend of knowledge, experiences, and curiosities is the fertile ground. Combinatorial play is the method of cultivation. Persistence and incubation are the patient tending. The results, the novel ideas, the creative breakthroughs, are the emergent blossoms, unique to your inner garden. Trust in your capacity to connect and create. Consider this. What is one small step you can take today to practice combinatorial play? Maybe it's reading an article on a totally random topic. Maybe it's taking two objects on your desk and imagining how they could be combined into something new. Maybe it's just asking what if about a routine task. Start small, start now. The secret formula isn't hidden away in some inaccessible realm of genius. It's embedded in a process available to all of us. It's the conscious choice to engage with the world and our minds with playful curiosity, actively seeking connections, and patiently nurturing the sparks that arise. It's a practice of becoming. Every connection made, every question asked, every moment of incubation strengthens your creative capacity. It builds pathways in the mind, making future combinations easier and more intuitive. Think of it as building your own personal idea generator, powered by your unique inputs and your willingness to play. This isn't just about productivity or achieving specific creative goals. Engaging in combinatorial play can enrich your life, making everyday experiences more interesting. You start seeing potential connections everywhere, finding novelty in the mundane, and approaching challenges with a more flexible and resourceful mindset. It enhances perception itself. Let go of the idea that you need to wait for a muse. Through combinatorial play, you learn to actively invite inspiration, to create the conditions where insight is more likely to occur. You become your own muse, constantly feeding your mind and exploring the potential held within the connections you make. The journey of creativity, fueled by this process, is one of continuous discovery of new ideas, but also discovery of yourself. What connections resonate most deeply with you? What kinds of combinations bring you joy? What unique perspectives can you offer the world? It's a path of self-exploration through creation. So embrace the role of the mental alchemist, the intellectual explorer, the playful combiner. Gather your diverse elements, ignite them with curiosity, mix them with courage, and allow time for the magic of emergence. This is the essence of the creative process Einstein hinted at. The frustration of the blank page doesn't need to be the end of the story. It can be the beginning of an adventure in combinatorial play. See it not as emptiness, but as open space, ready for you to fill with connections drawn from the vast library of your mind and the world around you. Boost your creativity not by searching for a single, elusive secret, but by embracing a dynamic, ongoing process. Feed your mind, play with ideas, dare to connect the unlikely, and trust in the quiet work of incubation. This is the path towards unlocking the novel possibilities that reside within you. What unexpected connections will you explore today? What if question will you ask? The potential for creativity is not a distant star, but a constellation waiting to be mapped by your own unique way of joining the dots. The journey begins with a single, curious connection. Don't just passively consume information, actively engage with it. Question it, twist it, combine it with something completely different. Treat knowledge not just as facts to be stored, but as building blocks for creating something entirely new. Your active participation is the key ingredient. The beauty of combinatorial play is that it leverages everything you are, your interests, your memories, your skills, even your quirks. Nothing is irrelevant in this process. Every piece of your unique experience can become fuel for creative connection. Bring your whole self to the practice. Challenge yourself to find connections even when they seem impossible. What does quantum physics have to say about baking a cake? How might ancient philosophy inform social media strategy? Pushing the boundaries of relevance is where the most surprising and potentially transformative ideas often lie. Dare to be unconventional. Remember Einstein's playful spirit. Approach this process not with grim determination, but with a light heart and a sense of adventure. What wonders might you uncover today? What strange and delightful combinations might emerge? Let curiosity be your guide and joy be your fuel. The power to boost your creativity lies not in a secret trick, but in the consistent application of this principle: combine and play. Gather your knowledge, connect disparate ideas with curiosity, persist through challenges, and allow insights to emerge. You hold the key to unlocking your own inventive potential. So the secret formula revealed is ultimately about a shift in approach, moving from passively waiting for inspiration to actively cultivating it through the dynamic process of combinatorial play. It's a journey of continuous learning, experimenting, and connecting, accessible to anyone willing to engage. Embrace the power of connection. See the world not as separate silos of knowledge, but as a rich tapestry of interwoven threads. Your creativity blossoms when you dare to pull on those threads, weaving together the familiar and the unfamiliar into something new and uniquely yours. Let this understanding settle. Creativity is not confined to genius. It is a fundamental human capacity that can be nurtured and expanded through conscious practice. By embracing combinatorial play, inspired by thinkers like Einstein, you empower yourself to become a more effective and fulfilled creator. The next time you seek a creative spark, remember the interplay. Gather, question, combine, rest, persist. Let this cycle become a familiar rhythm in your life. What unique combinations are waiting within you, ready to be brought into the light through your curiosity and effort? Go forth and connect, play with the pieces, trust the process. Your most creative work may be just one unexpected combination away. The formula is simple, the practice is profound, and the potential is yours to unlock. What will you create?